Thank you for tuning in. We have Nida today with us, a therapist and the social media lead at Paws. Thank you for joining us, Nida.
Thank you for having me here, Estelle.
Okay, so Nida, today we have I have a few questions, and the intention of this episode is to bring to notice the kind of work that we do at Paws and your role as a therapist over here as well.
Mm.
And just to create awareness in the community through, just by sharing your journey and, your work at Pause. So we'll
Mm.
begin with the first question. Um,
Mm.
what has motivated you to choose psychology, or how have you gotten
Mm.
into this field of psychology and chosen this role of being a therapist?
Mm. Mm. I think for me, psychology has always been something that I was interested in since after college. And but I couldn't get into it because I was also interested in science. So I did my bachelor's in biotechnology. And then I took a break after my bachelor's, and I decided during that break, I'll just do a small course that is in a way related to psychology. So I did early childhood education. That was my first exposure to psychology, like academic psychology, and not just like pop psychology, what we hear, right? And that I found it very interesting. I found it was easy for me to grasp one thing, and it interested me a lot that I felt like I want to read more about this, I want to learn more about this, right? And that's how I got into psychology. But there's also this element of a personal journey with psychology where there is an effort uh, to improve my own mental health, or to understand what mental health is and what is happening around me. I think that was also one of the factors to choose psychology. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. Most of us, or a few people, they join and get into this field, through personal journey, and they look at healing within, themselves, and
Yeah.
they look
Yeah.
at heal others as well. But from what you just shared, what really stood out to me was when you said, academic psychology and pop psychology. Maybe, wondering if you could, elaborate on that so that our viewers can understand what the difference is.
Mhm. So when I say pop psychology, I mean just these ideas that go around about what psychology is, or just tips of being, you know, tips to maintain mental health, tips to do well in your life, well-being, career, things like that, right? Like just these ideas that are thrown around. I think that is what I call as pop psychology. Something that doesn't have its basis in something uh, researched or proven, right? Like how it happens in academics, where people have done a lot of research and then they come up with theories, and that's what we learn. And then we also practice, and uh, we look at different theories critically, as well as, whatever whatever we do. And so I think that's the difference between pop psychology and academic psychology, where in pop psychology, if I was like still uh, if I was inspired by pop psychology, I would be thinking about how to fix something,
Mhm.
right? I mean, that's what my process was before I joined the course. But with the course, you learn how it's not about fixing anything, it's just about uh, witnessing, or just being there, or like understanding, right? Like all of these other things that are there, then fixing. So I think that's the difference that I notice in pop psychology and academic psychology. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, deep description. Thank you so much. And considering that, and now we know that you are a therapist and you're practicing at Paws. How long have you been working here as a therapist at Paws, and what's your journey been like?
I think it's 2.5 years. Like I started here with my internship, and then I'm working as a consultant right now. What has my journey been like? It has been mind blowing. Okay. I say mind blowing because I realized something about how much it matters, the kind of environment, the kind of a place, like the culture that you work in, right? What your relationship with your colleagues is, how your work is being valued, how you are being valued, and things like that, right? And PFP is just like it's home, right? Like all of us know that. And it has given me the space to grow at my own pace and with the understanding that I have of this field, right? And that just that liberty to be myself and to grow into myself is not only helpful in my career but also personally, because I know that I can be myself and still be valued, right? I think, yeah, PFP has just taught me a lot of life lessons and career lessons. uh, so yeah, it's been an amazing journey, I think. Yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. It was so beautiful listening to you share about, it's been 2.5 years and time really flies. Transitioning from an intern into a therapist. The place where you said you mentioned life lessons where you began learning,
Mm,
how to be a therapist and not in, most layman language, a good therapist, but an effective therapist.
mm,
Uh, and
yeah.
all of you listening and watching, PFP is home.
Yeah. Wow, current is going. Okay.
Oh, overstairs. Yeah. Thank you.
And I also want to add about how I think the stance that we take at PFP, right? It was new for me when I joined
Mm,
uh, the organization, because in our academics we don't really pay attention to the nuances of just experiential mental health and things like that, or social causes for it, right? So I think PFP has helped me grow, and also recognize what my own values are and how do I align that with the organization's values. And it also taught me a lot about uh, just how the society, culture, and all of these things play a role in the session and in people's lives,
mm,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
And I think one thing that I like the most is we keep updating ourselves
Yeah.
with whatever knowledge we have. We keep sharing ideas. We brainstorm ideas. We discuss our cases openly with each other, and it's a very safe environment to grow. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's not much competition. There's this equality, and there is space for everyone to
Yeah.
be themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is a very safe
Yeah.
environment. Speaking from my own
Yeah.
experience. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up as well, Linda. Moving on, wondering what kind of people consult with you, or what is your area of expertise in counseling?
Mm. I see mostly young adults and adults,
Mm,
and there are a number of concerns they come in with: uh, depression, anxiety, grief,
yeah.
trauma, and yeah, there are a lot of concerns that they come in with. Uh, my personal belief is that a lot of these concerns are, if we separate them from the label, these concerns are interrelated. So I can't really uh, point at certain areas only that a client comes in with. So I think I would like to say that I'm just a person-centered therapist. So whatever the client brings, I do my best to see what happens in sessions, right? There's no particular um, thing that is my expertise,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hear that you are a person-centered therapist, and you you provide unconditional positive regard in sessions, genuine congruence, and you accept the client for who he, she, or they are, and that's, I think we're getting a sense of that you're a humanistic therapist. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm. Is there more that you have to add or share with us?
I'm just thinking uh, about how you asked what is my expertise at, or what kind of clients I see, right? And I'm wondering if I ever thought about that. If I ever have to write what kind of clients I see, I will fumble like this only.
Mhm.
Because there's no one definition, there's no one label
Yeah.
for the kind of clients I see. I do uh, I do like to see clients who are going through grief and trauma. That is my area of interest, I would say. But I see a wide range of clients.
Yeah.
I just don't see kids. That's not my
Yeah.
strength. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do see young adults, and you also see clients, experiencing depression, anxiety, and your area of interest is helping clients, with trauma or grief, using a very humanistic approach. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Nida. Moving on,
Mm.
wondering what are the different roles that you play at Paws?
So at Paws, I am a consultant therapist and also the social media lead.
Mhm.
So we, whatever you see on Instagram, we ideate and put it out there. And I think at PFP, we place such different roles. Like that's something that is a culture, right? Like we are not just therapists. We are also leads. We are also supervisors. We are also, just training ourselves. We are also studying, right? So I think, yeah, as a therapist, as a learner, and as a social media lead, yeah, I would call myself the creative head. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I would like to call myself. Yeah.
yeah, of course you can. Yeah, very interesting how
Mm.
you mentioned. Normally, anyone would just say, I'm a therapist. I'm part of this group. I lead this, so I do that. But I like how you said you're also a learner.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's an important part
Hmm.
of PFPs, just the way we function to keep learning, to keep questioning a lot of things also about the practice. Yeah.
Yeah, very important to do that. That's
Mm.
what I
Yeah.
think, something that plays a very vital role. Uh,
Mm.
um, Help us form or become the therapist that we are today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and like you mentioned also how it's inculcated, it's in the space.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
And there is no judgment of the knowledge that we already have and we bring, right? That is that's also like built up upon, like the knowledge we have that is built upon at PFP.
Yeah. Mm.
people will say like I'm marketing PFP, especially
This.
college people.
Oh, let them say it's okay. So we're talking about home.
Yeah, but we know that this place offers so much, right? Yeah.
Mm. I'm sure a lot of others must be, you know, just hearing us share how safe they feel at home and how, what we learn, right? And
Yeah,
roles that we
yeah,
have, how
yeah.
it, our roles evolve along with,
Mm.
our growth.
Yeah,
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 as
yeah,
individuals, as therapists. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I feel like if I were to say something about PFP, I would say that we have a childlike spirit and curiosity to explore everything, but we also have the responsibility
Mm.
and the wisdom of an adult
Yeah.
to hold space for other people. I think that's something, if I were to describe PFP. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that description. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I see there's so much
Mm.
heart to everything that you're talking about, your experience or journey. And
Oh.
yeah. Thank you for that, Nida. Do you have more to add? I have a few more questions.
Mm. Yes, yes. Ask.
Yeah. So, okay. Our next question is, if there is anything you could bring change to or contribute to in this field, of being a therapist or mental health profession, what would it be?
Mm. Interesting question. Something that I want to add to it or expand my knowledge on is psychedelic therapy,
Mm,
psychedelics and trauma. More, if I were to be specific, right? I think this is still not legal in India.
mm,
It is but used outside, and it's a new field of research. Um, and there is a lot of there's a lot of work with the body that happens while we do psychedelic therapy, right? It's not just that you get high and
mm,
whatever, right? It's not just drugs, it's a dive into the unconscious, right? Without the attached fear and all of that happens, or without that, um, just a very pure dive into the unconscious and what comes from it, right? And it's a very bodily experience, a very physiological experience when it's happening with psychedelics. I think this is something that I want to add,
mm,
and if there is something that I want to change, um, yeah, I think the field is ever evolving, and there is so much about the psyche, the mind that we don't know.
mhm,
I believe that there is more to know.
mhm,
So I think to constantly question things, to constantly, um, just not take up whatever data you're getting or information, like, and then practice it, right? But to be able to somehow integrate it with your existing knowledge, with the client's own individual knowledge and wisdom, just things like that, right? And yeah, I think this is an ever evolving field, so some change will happen
yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what I will specifically change, but yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. It's a psychedelic therapy. Um, is there a bit more that you want to add, or what, anything specific related to that, or elaborate on it?
um there is, I'm not, I don't have that much of knowledge in this. I am still learning,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's a passion that I want to follow.
Mm-hmm.
um it's just that I am fascinated. I'm also interested to know how the mind and body function and relate to each other.
Mm.
And there is also a part of spirituality that is there in this kind of therapy.
Mm.
I mean, in the way I practice also. But and when I say spirituality, I don't mean um, connected to somebody higher power, God, and things like that. Sometimes spirituality is just becoming yourself, or
Mm.
just being able to connect to your own spirit,
Mm.
right? Like just that aliveness that you feel within. I think that is something that fascinates me, and that's something that I want to, go into.
Mm. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that, Nita. Do you have more to add?
No, I'm just enjoying talking to you.
Yeah, even I want just to hearing and looking at these ideas that you have, that you want
Yeah,
to make change to, or, contribute to the field of mental health.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for asking these questions. These are not things that I might generally think about.
Mm,
So it's good to answer these questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for, validating that. A lot of thought has gone into these
Mm,
questions, and, the very idea of, just letting the community know who their therapist might be, and, the
mm,
choice of them choosing a therapist at
mm.
Paws. That was the intent
Yeah.
of this whole
Mm,
series.
yeah.
Thank you, Nida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Thank you, Esther.
so now that you've shared with us, your journey, what it's been like, your role at Pause, um, moving on to my last and favorite question. On being a therapist, could you please share with us what it means for you to be one?
This is something that I keep asking myself, what does it mean to be a therapist, and how it aligns with the kind of life that I want?
Mhm.
I think something, as an answer that always strongly plays up for me is that I am a mirror,
Mm.
and I will, in sessions, or just I am my, if I were to say, uh, what I become a mirror that, and the mirror doesn't show just what is present, right? It shows a reflection
Mm.
of what is present, and in that reflection there is a lot of unexplored areas.
Mhm.
There is a, I mean, there is a something opposite, right? Something else also that exists,
Yeah.
right? And to to help you become who you are, I think that is my role as a therapist, to show you, um, just by being a witness, just by being there to see you, to hear you, to just be a fellow traveler with you
Mm.
in this journey, right? That's something that I think of myself as a therapist. um yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Just listening to you say that, you are the mirror, and the mirror just doesn't show you what is, but the reflection of what is. And, just being a therapist to you means, being a fellow traveler, being with the other person, your client, going along with them, through their journey.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you for like putting that together. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Thank you, Anida. With that, we've come to the end of our um,
Hmm.
today, our episode. Thank you so much for being your truly authentic self. And that word kept coming up, while I was
Yeah.
thinking of, okay, this video is going to go out, and, it was just authentic self kept coming. And,
Hmm.
want to thank you for really
Yeah.
and you know thank you for joining us today here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me and making me feel safe to answer these questions,
Yeah,
right? And like letting me be my authentic self.
yeah.
Yeah.
The values we've learned right from PFP.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Nida.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.